Good evening. Buenas tardes. Welcome to the East San Fernando Valley Light Rail Transit Virtual Community Meeting. My name is Mireya Lopez. I am a member of Metro's Community Relations Department as the Construction Relations Manager for this project. Next slide, please. We are very excited to be here this evening to share an update on one of three major transit projects underway in the San Fernando Valley. Our goal is to expand access and create more opportunities for you and your families. We recognize that construction can be disruptive, but we have plans in place to support those affected and to minimize impacts as much as possible so that everyone can ultimately benefit from the improved transit options coming to the valley. This project has deep community roots shaped by valuable input from East San Fernando Valley residents dating back to 2010. As we move forward, we remain committed to being your partners and addressing any questions or concerns that may arise during construction. Next slide, please. During this meeting, interpretation is available via Zoom. Click on the interpretation icon. Pick the language you would like to listen to. Spanish is one of the options that is available for you. Next slide, please. We also have some housekeeping rules. This is a webinar. Attendees, as you will note, have their cameras off and the microphones are muted. Submit your questions by using the Q&A feature. This meeting is also being recorded. There will be a video file that will be posted on our website at metro.net/EastSFV. I'll repeat that, metro.net/EastSFV. Thank you. Next slide, please. I am happy to welcome everyone and introduce tonight's presenters. We've got a great agenda lined up for you this evening. Beginning with a project update will be presented by Nell Marderosian. She is our Deputy Executive Officer, Deputy Project Manager of Third Party. Also, a construction update by Nell Marderosian and Alex Gonzalez, who is the Executive Officer, Deputy Project Manager of Construction. There will also be an update on tree removal and replacement process being presented by Ms. Lisa Karwoski, Deputy Project Manager in Engineering. There's real estate acquisition. Daryl Root will present that update. He is the Senior Director in Real Property Management and Development Right-of-Way. Metro Art component on this project is very important, and that update will be provided by Katie Norman, the Senior Manager, Construction, Public Art Project Delivery. We have some mitigation programs that are part of this project, the Business Solutions Center, Business Interruption Fund, being presented by Angela Winston, the Director of the BIF and BSC for acronyms of these mitigation programs. The Eat Shop Play, JC Lacey, he is the Chief Strategist of Eat Shop Play. And Community Outreach Update by Isabel Maltese, a member of the Community Relations team, and an update on the Community Leadership Council by Jesse Leon, the Community Leadership Council Manager. At the end of this presentation, we will have a question and answer session. So I encourage you all to join in and share your questions. Next slide, please. On this project, we are transforming the corridor. We will improve connections and access for commuters and travelers along the project corridor. We will also address the needs of a large transit-dependent population and expected growth in ridership. We will provide easy access to Metrolink and G-Line stations to encourage both local and regional travel. Next slide, please. And now I am pleased to hand the presentation over to our esteemed Nell Martirosian, the Deputy Executive Officer, Deputy Project Management of Third Party. Nell, welcome.
Thank you. Maria, can you guys hear me? Just making sure. You guys
Yes.
can hear me? Okay, perfect. All right. Thank you very much for having me. So the project is 6.7 miles at grade, meaning street running with a double track on Van Nuys Boulevard. We start at the Van Nuys G-Line station near Oxnard Street and head north to San Fernando Road. There will be 11 center platform stations. We'll be also building a brand new maintenance and storage facility off of Keswick Street, which is just west of Van Nuys Boulevard. There will be 10 traction power substations, also known as TPSS sites. These TPSS sites will provide the power needed to operate the light rail. And then the project is estimated at $3.573 billion with funding from both from federal, state, and local governments. And then we're forecasted to open in late 2031. Next slide. So Van Nuys Boulevard after we are complete with the project. So shown here at the top of the screen is a conceptual image of what to expect once the project is completely built and operational. The trains will be running in the center median of Van Nuys with 2 lanes of traffic open in each direction, except for a portion between Laurel Canyon and San Fernando Road, which will only be 1 lane going northbound, which is consistent with the existing conditions. Passengers will board and deboard at the center platform stations. Because the project is required to meet City of Los Angeles standards, Metro will install new street lighting and construct new sidewalks and adhere to the city's 10-foot wide standard for sidewalks, and then also resurface the street along the alignment. Additionally, we will be replacing the trees with along the alignment on a 2-to-1 replacement ratio, meaning that for every tree that we remove, we will plant 2 new trees. Also, in order to meet the city standards, we will be taking out all street parking along the alignment, and the existing bike lane will be relocated to another area within the community in order to make room for the light rail system. Next slide. So project schedule and current activities. We're currently working on the final design for this project, as well as utility adjustments, relocations out in the street to make sure that we can clear the corridor for the future tracks and stations. We're also working on real estate acquisitions, and we anticipate to begin phase 2, which is major construction, in 2026. The construction and system testing is anticipated to last until about early 2031. And then the contractor will turn it over back to Metro to complete final testing before we can start revenue operations in late 2031. Next slide. So current and upcoming work for LADWP Water and Power, this is third-party work. So LADWP is going to be doing work that is needed for this project along the entire corridor. And the work is expected to last throughout 2026 and potentially even 2027. The work hours include day shifts between 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. and then night shifts between about 9 p.m., 8 p.m. to 4 or 5 in the morning. Upcoming work, we have cable pull activities on Van Nuys Boulevard and Telfair. That has not been scheduled yet, so I don't have an exact date. We will make sure we provide a date when we have it. And then we also have DWP out there working for us between Vos and Van Owen. And that work is anticipated to complete in the next few weeks. Next slide. Upcoming work for Southern California Gas. So same kind of work. They're doing work for this project. They're conducting relocation and abandonments throughout the project corridor. And then that work is also expected to continue through 2026. The day shifts are between 8 and 6 and 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. and night shifts are between 8 p.m. and 6 a.m. Metro will provide construction noticing for all of this work. The next 3 locations are going to be at Roscoe, Wyandotte, and Sherman Way. I think Sherman Way is going to be the first location that you guys are going to see out them working on, which is probably going to be starting mid to late October. And then the next 2 locations, Roscoe and Wyandotte, will follow as well late fall.
Well, Mireya, do you want to take over?
There may be an interruption. Alex Gonzalez, will you go on mute and take over, please?
Yes, thank you, Mireya. Yeah, Wi-Fi froze. So, yeah, so to finish, this is the last slide that now was going to present on regarding DWP work that is occurring throughout the corridor. LIDWP is continuing the work on their improvement project, primarily on the northern portion of the corridor. As you can see from this graphic, the blue highlighted area is the location of the work. So some of the current work activities occurring there are on Van Nuys Boulevard between Kewen Avenue and San Fernando Road. The work is occurring day and night, during the day and night, anticipate to be completed initially actually was completed this summer, 2025. The work between Telfair Avenue to San Fernando Road, also happening day and night, is anticipated to also be completed this past summer. I believe they did complete that. And then various street adjacent to Van Nuys Boulevard is also being, there's also construction on those adjacent streets between Kewen to Rincon. That work is primarily during the day. So that concludes the LIDWP update. Next slide, please. Did I freeze, or can you guys, next slide, please? Yeah, I finished that slide. Okay, thank you. Yeah, so that concluded the third-party construction updates of current and upcoming work. So now, as a reminder, I will be presenting on the current and upcoming construction activities being performed by our contractor, San Fernando Transit Constructors, also known as SFTC. So we'll start with this slide here. SFTC is performing utility relocation work on southbound Van Nuys Boulevard between Vincent Street and Plummer Street. So this work began back in February and is anticipated to be completed this month. Currently, SFTC is about 95% complete. The K-rail barrier, this is the white concrete barricades, were removed last month following the completion of the work inside the barriers. Construction will continue this month at the intersection of Van Nuys Boulevard and Plummer Street, primarily nighttime, Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. Let's see, next we have SFTC will also begin the median removal work on Van Nuys Boulevard between Roscoe Boulevard and Parthenia Street. This work is anticipated to begin next week and will be completed by the end of the year, if not sooner. Some important information: the work will be performed during the day and night work hours, Monday through Friday. After the median is removed, a 58-hour continuous weekend operation will be required to restore and restripe the street, which may involve directional street closures of Van Nuys Boulevard and detours as well. Next slide, please. Okay, thank you. So some more current work. This is SFTC performing utility relocation work on Van Nuys between Galt Street and Armenta. This work began back in April of this year and is currently at 37% complete. SFTC is anticipating to complete this work sometime next in the mid 2027 that year. Some important information, stage 1 of the K-rail barriers were installed from Galt Street to just north of Valerio Street. And crews are working both day and night inside and outside the barriers. Stage 2, additional K-rail barriers will be installed north of Valerio Street to Armenta Street this weekend, October 10th through October 13th. So expect lane restrictions will be in effect, and so please expect traffic delays this weekend as this work is being performed. This utility relocation work will require directional street closures and full street closures on Van Nuys Boulevard between Sherman Way and Armenta Street during the night on weekdays and during the day on weekends. In addition, the following full street closures are upcoming. Satakoy Street, just west of Van Nuys Boulevard, Covelo Street, just east of Van Nuys Boulevard, Blight Street, just west of Van Nuys Boulevard, all anticipated to begin this fall of 2025. And these closures will be nightly, 8 p.m. To 6 a.m., Monday through Friday, for approximately 1 to 2 months. Next slide, please. Okay, now I'm going to be presenting on upcoming SFTC construction activities. So we'll start here at the top, starting with utility relocation work on Van Nuys Boulevard and Haddon Avenue. This is anticipated to begin later this fall of 2025 and be completed in the spring of 2026. The work will be conducted primarily at night, Monday through Friday. Then next we have some more utility relocation work on Van Nuys Boulevard from Vesper Avenue to San Fernando Road. As you can see to the left there on the map, the work here is anticipated to begin in the winter of 2026 and be completed sometime in the spring of 2027. Work will be conducted primarily during the night, Monday through Friday, but more details will follow for this work as the construction plans get developed. So more to come on this. And then last, utility relocation work at Van Nuys Boulevard and Blight Street. This is scheduled to begin this month and will be completed in the spring of 2026. This work will require night work involving full street closure of Blight Street and work in the intersection. Let's see, next slide, please. Okay, so switching it up a little bit from utility work, SFTC is continuing the abatement and demolition work of properties acquired to construct the MSF site. The work here began earlier this year in February with the demolition of 2 properties and is now expected to start back up again this fall. This work will continue as Metro acquires properties for the future MSF site and is expected to last through the fall of 2026. And last, SFTC will begin tree replacement along the project corridor. This work is scheduled to begin sometime this month. This effort begins the replacement of 13 trees that were removed earlier this year with 26 new trees. As Nell mentioned earlier in her presentation, this will be fulfilling the city's requirement for the city's 2-for-1 requirement. So the 26 trees will be replacing those 13 trees that were removed. But note that replanting will continue throughout the project construction. So this is just the start of it. Next slide, please. Last here, we have some photos of some of the utility relocation work that I described in the previous slides. As you can see here, the crews working at night on the left here and during the day, as I described in the previous slides. So also please scan this QR code to see the latest construction notices with full details on current work activities. And now that concludes for me. So now I will pass the presentation over to Lisa Korowski. Thank you.
Hi, thank you so much everyone again for joining us today. I'm Lisa Kowalski, the Deputy Project Manager for Engineering and Design. When we met a few months ago, I gave you an update on how we're progressing with design with a focus on tree removal and planting. A lot's happened over the last few months, so I just wanted to give you a quick update of where we are. And I did also want to just add a quick note to the point that Alex made around the 26 trees that will be planted. Metro will be providing a 3-year tree establishment period for those trees and any trees that Metro will be planting as part of East San Fernando. Next slide, please. Thank you. We are quickly marching towards our 85% design. Recently, we've been having extensive workshops with Streets LA and Bureau of Street Lighting. During these workshops, we're looking at how we can maximize tree placement along the corridor. For example, if a street light can be shifted a few feet in one direction, does that provide us enough space to now add another tree? So instead of 2 trees in a block, maybe we can add 3 trees. And so we're continuing to work with these departments through final approval to make sure that we're maximizing trees along the corridor. Next slide, please. SFTC has submitted their second tree removal permit to Streets LA and Urban Forestry Division for review and comment. These tree removals are required to support advanced utility work. As part of that review, there's been a handful of trees that have been challenged to if the removal is actually required. And so for these, at this point, it's been determined that those trees can actually remain and root pruning will be done. So it's good to know that I've said before that those checks and balances are happening, that if we don't need to remove a tree, we'll try really hard not to. This application is being updated based off the comments received and will be sent back to the city shortly. Once all the comments are addressed and it's ready, it will be taken to the Board of Public Works for approval. And currently the project anticipates 3 more tree removal permit applications, which are in development. So I don't have a timing just on that yet. Next slide, please. And so this is my last slide today. Yep. So this is our current proposed tree palette for the project, both along Van Nuys Boulevard and then for the offsites, which were highlighted in yellow on the previous slide. Half of these trees are native, which is good that we are, at least 50% of these are native. This includes the desert willow, the western redbud, and the coast live oak. So that is my update on where we are with trees. And I will pass this along now to Daryl Root, I believe, for real estate updates. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone, and thanks for being here. I think I have a little bit of a lag here because I don't see my slide. But I can tell you, there we go. I can tell you that the real estate department, of which I'm Senior Director of Real Estate at Metro, our real estate department continues with real estate acquisitions for maintenance and storage facility. Right now, we have 12 properties that we have acquired. And right now, we have 1 property in escrow. And right now, we have on our resolutions of necessity that have been approved, we have 5 properties and 2 owners on our resolutions of necessity have agreed to settle with us. We are also acquiring the traction power substation sites. Right now, we have one site owned by Metro. We have one in escrow and 4 in negotiations. Meanwhile, we have a train control bungalow, and that is in escrow, I believe. So next slide, please. Okay, so we also, when we acquire property, any occupants of the property that must be relocated, we offer relocation benefits under federal and state guidelines. And those federal and state guidelines were approved and contained in our relocation plan that was approved by the Metro Board in November 2023. Our real estate acquisition and relocation efforts continue, and we continue to offer relocation benefits to those who have to relocate. So far on the maintenance and storage facility and traction power substation relocations, of which there are 112, we have successfully relocated 46 of those businesses. So our acquisition and relocation activities continue. So that, I believe, is all for me, and I will pass it to the next speaker.
Hello, my name is Katie Norman, and I manage the art program for the East San Fernando Valley Light Rail project. All 11 stations being constructed for the East San Fernando Valley will have artworks. Artists will be commissioned to design unique site-specific artworks for each station. That means the artwork will be inspired by the neighborhood, people, history, and/or culture around the station. Metro Art recently released a call to artists, which was open from July 14th and closed September 22nd. During the application period, we conducted targeted local outreach about the call to artists, including sharing the call to artists with all Metro Art email subscribers with a reach of 32,000 people, sharing in the Metro Community Relations weekly emails with a reach of 55,000 people, and monthly newsletters with a reach of 199,000 people. We also shared the call to artists with local East San Fernando Valley arts organizations and distributed 200,000 postcards in the project area and on the Metro transit system in English and Spanish. The call to artists was shared on the radio and in social media, print and online publications in English and Spanish, and we held artist workshops at Pacoima Beautiful, CSUN, and the Van Nuys Branch Library, and we're happy to work with local restaurants Sabor a la Mexicana and Family Bakery from our Eat Shop Play program to cater the workshops. We posted a recorded version of the artist workshop on our website that had over 1,900 views. The call to artists received media coverage from Los Angeles Magazine and the San Fernando Sun. We are so grateful for all the positive feedback on the call to artists, and thank you to all the community partners who worked with us to get the word out. I will now hand it over to Angela Winston, who will give an Eat Shop Play update.
Hello and good evening, everyone. As Katie said, my name is Angela Winston, and I'm the director of the Business Interruption Fund and the Business Solutions Center. As you can see here, Metro has 3 construction mitigation programs that are eligible for the East San Fernando Valley project. I'll just give a quick overview on 2 of those programs. Next slide. The Business Interruption Fund, or BIF, as we refer to it, provides up to $60,000 per impact year to support small mom and pop businesses affected by our rail construction. Eligibility for this program includes that the business is located immediately on the alignment of the rail corridor and has been located there for at least 2 years, that it is directly impacted by the adjacent construction, and there are other eligibility requirements as applicable, depending on the type of business it is, but also to include the ability to provide financial documents that speak to the business revenues before and during construction. The grant amounts are determined by that business revenue loss directly related to the period of metro construction disruption. And actually, right now, we're celebrating a major milestone for the program, which began in 2015. We're within the 10-year anniversary of the BIF, and we've reached our $50 million milestone. And that includes all projects that were eligible for BIF, including the East San Fernando Valley. So hopefully you'll see some of the upcoming acknowledgements in a very few weeks on that milestone for the program. We've also included here the QR code that you can scan, and that will take you directly to the application for the BIF program. Next slide. Next slide. Oh, there we go. For the BIF activities on East San Fernando Valley, again, our fund administrator is Pacific Coast Regional, partnering with New Economics for Women, who is primarily helping with the awareness and outreach and educating the business community about the program. To date, we have awarded just a little over $660,000 already. It's been over the last 4 months or so. You can see that the outreach has been robust, over 1,000 businesses, and you can see there the cities that the businesses have been outreached to. Again, outreach follows construction, and as the construction impacts progress, you will then see more outreach happening in some of the other city locations. As you can see here on the grants, 23 grants in the Van Nuys, Sherman Way area, right there where that K-rail is, and fencing, make up 600,000 of that 660,000. And then we have one grant right there at Woodman and Van Nuys for a 60,000 grant, which again is the maximum amount. To date, 356 BIF applications have been received by our fund administrator. And again, many of these businesses are applying in advance of the actual construction impact, which is perfectly fine. But the application cannot be processed, of course, until the construction impacts occur. Since October of last year, we have hosted 5 BIF workshops, and we're looking forward to hosting a virtual BIF workshop just within the next month or so. Next slide. For our Business Solutions Center, again, the BSC, as we refer to it, provides hands-on business support services, and these services include one-on-one business engagement, classes, presentations, and also referrals to resources that businesses may need. Our new model that we will be putting forth will feature a regional operator that will partner with local community-based organizations to deliver business support services. Currently, we're in the blackout period with the anticipation of a contract award in late spring. These services will be at no cost, and of course, we'll first launch on the East San Fernando Valley and G-Line improvement projects with a BSC location that will be physically located near both projects for easy access. And again, this will be a regional program that will also, our anticipation is that it will expand to some of the other metro project areas. Next slide. And of course, our contact information right here. Any questions you might have about the BIF or BSC program, you can reach me at my email address there, my phone number. If you'd like to learn more about the eligibility criteria and actually applying to the program, please contact our BIF fund administrator, Brian Miyamoto. There is his email and phone number. And you can always go to our website as well to get any kind of information you want on the program at metro.net/BIF. And I believe this is my last slide, so I'm going to pass it now on to my colleague, J.C. Lacey, to tell you a little bit about our Eat, Shop, Play program. Thank you.
Thank you, Angela, and good evening, everyone. Thank you for your time this evening. I'm J.C. Lacey, Chief Strategist for Metro's Eat, Shop, Play, presenting on behalf of Aria Adow. She's the Business Engagement and Mitigation Programs Manager at Metro. Eat, Shop, Play is all about marketing support and visibility for businesses that are located within a quarter mile of the project alignment. It's completely free for eligible businesses. And there are two primary components of the program. One is access to free digital marketing workshops and one-on-one coaching with experts. And we work with folks from Google and the Braven Foundation, top-notch support in that regard. Number two are additional promotional opportunities in Metro print, digital campaigns, and as opportunities arise for promotion. Next slide, please. So here is a breakdown of the numbers and the categories of businesses that we are enrolling. First off, at the top, you can see it's eat, shop, play, and services. And there are some numbers there in each of the communities along the alignment that you can see there, with 48 businesses in Van Nuys, 36 in Pacoima, 24 in Panorama City, and I think we have a few in Arleta, for a total of 115 businesses enrolled to date. Next slide, please. And finally, I want to leave you with some information and an invitation, if there are any business owners on the call, for our monthly workshop series. I mentioned the training and the coaching. This is our workshop. This is a group setting, and the next meeting is on October 28th. This series is all focused on helping businesses build strong websites. The workshops and the coaching is available in English and Spanish. So that's my final slide, and I'll just leave with a note about how to contact us, which our website is metro.net/eatshopplay. And to email us, it's eatshopplay@metro.net. That's eatshopplay@metro.net, and we will be sure to respond within 24 hours. Thank you. That's my last slide.
Hi, good afternoon. Thank you so much. I apologize. My computer camera is not functioning for me right at the moment, but my name is Isabel, and I am going to be communicating with you all regarding the construction relations and mitigations programs. Just to kind of go right off, we are starting with our quarterly community construction update meetings. These continue to be our busiest times. We engage with over 40 community-based organizations and offices. We do deliveries and we do flyer distributions. That amounts to 23,000 flyers distributed for each round of community meetings. We also jump over to the project updates and the email lists, which are shared with over 3,528 stakeholders on our growing list. So that continues to grow each week. And if you have not already, please sign up to receive our distributions. If you need assistance with how to do so, the next slide will give you information on that. Our key stakeholder engagement, that's the neighborhood council meetings and the Arleta, Van Nuys, Panorama City, and Pacoima area. So our team does do our best to attend all of these council meetings as much and as often as possible. We do share any information or updates on construction notices that we have available and make it a point to, just be present and show our faces. The community events. Over 20 events have been attended and staffed since between July and September along the corridor. This is quite a bit. Just recently, we had two recent events, the DIY Girls Gala on September 25th and the Heart Powwow, which was recently this past weekend on October 4th. We do have many upcoming meetings. This is our busiest season and continues to remain so. We have a few Dia de los Muertos events coming up that our team will be at, as well as a trunk or treat hosted by the Mid-Valley YMCA. So if you have an opportunity, please stop by our table. We'll have some goodies and, maybe some candy for the season. And just stop by to say hi or ask questions about the project. As far as our door-to-door business outreach, we do have 1,300 plus businesses that have been visited and profiled along our prioritized areas. We have communicated directly with business owners and a few residents. So if you, again, do have any questions, please let us know. We'd be happy to stop by and pay a visit to you and answer any questions. Bilingual construction notices, a quarter of a mile from the impact, we have over 1,880 notices that have been distributed between July and September of this year. The ESFV Light Rail Project Community Leadership Council is going to also be hosting their meeting upcoming on the 21st of October, and then the past one occurred on August 14th, 2025. Next slide, please. Sorry, it's a little slow on my end. So next virtual community meeting. For the first time, we will be hosting our next meeting on a Saturday, October 18th. That is going to be from 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. This, I hope, will open and make a few different opportunities for other members that have not been able to attend this meeting, attend on a Saturday morning. And we do want to make sure that you're available for that as well. It's going to be a virtual event, not in person. But again, the same information will be shared that you are seeing here. And if someone else wanted to attend and ask any questions, please feel free to join us. The information is here listed on the flyer. If you would like us to email that to you, please let us know, and we'd be happy to do so. Next slide. Okay, thank you so much. I'll be handing it over to Jesse Leon for CLC updates.
Thank you, Isabel. Good evening, everyone. My name is Jesse Leon, and I'm the Community Leadership Council manager and part of the community relations team. So as Isabel was mentioning, aside from the door-to-door outreach that we do and attending special events and tonight's meeting that's in a virtual setting, we also have put together what's called a Community Leadership Council, or CLC for short. What this group is, it's a group of stakeholders, 15 of them, that make up people who own property along the alignment. They work in the communities that this alignment will go through. They attend school, or they're involved in a local service organization. These 15 members serve a term of 2 years, and we meet quarterly. I do want to announce that we have met with this recent cohort of folks for about 8 to 10 times since we formed it, and their term is actually ending later this month, where we'll have our very last meeting. So I do want to acknowledge and thank them for their service. Let me see here, see if anyone is joining us from the CLC. I believe only Kathy Schreiner is here tonight, but CLC members typically do drop in these meetings. So Kathy Schreiner is the president of the Van Nuys Neighborhood Council, and she's been faithfully serving on the CLC for the past 2 years. So thank you for your service, Kathy. So what the CLC does is, prior to each meeting, we present information in this format. They lightly review the material in advance of those advisory body meetings. And then when we meet, they actually provide feedback to us on the topics that we discuss at that meeting. Another big important thing that they do is they help identify ways to raise awareness on opportunities in the areas that are listed here below. And there are basically 2 major areas. On the left, you see here on your screen a community engagement area, and then we also opportunities on economic development and business support. On the community engagement side, they help us outreach about the arts opportunities that you heard earlier this evening about. In the future, we are going to be naming the stations, so this CLC will help us through that process. And if there's any improvements within the project, the scope of the project, they guide us through those conversations. Another thing that Metro would like to kick off along this project is what's called the Metro CBO Partnering Strategy. And that's really a way of how to engage local CBOs in helping us raise awareness of the construction, the opportunities that come with this project. And then lastly, there's something called the Cultural Competency Plan that is currently in draft phase. So throughout that draft phase, we presented to them and they provided feedback on ideas for the project to become more culturally competent and aware. On the economic development front, as jobs and careers and construction careers become available, we're going to rely very heavily on the CLC to help us promote those opportunities. You also heard about the eShop Play and the Business Interruption Fund and Business Solution Center. Again, the CLC members talk to us when we're doing outreach to these businesses. They let us know of things that we should be aware of when we're visiting them. And then here on this screen, just very quickly, I wanted to acknowledge them. So this is the CLC members that serve from 2023 to 2025. In the next few weeks, we will be recruiting for a brand new CLC. So if anyone who is listening tonight is interested or knows of anyone that's interested, please stay tuned because we will be sending out information on recruiting the new CLC. And I believe that's my last slide. So thank you very much again for joining us this evening.
Thank you, Jesse, for that update. We're getting very close to the end of our presentation, and I'm sure that you will agree that we have shared a lot of valuable information this evening. We want to invite you to stay connected to this project. There's many ways in how you can connect with the community relations team, and that is via the phone line or email or the project website. You can also follow us on social media. We share our notices in all of these different platforms. And so we strongly encourage you to stay connected with the community relations team. The team members of the construction relations, you may have met many of us either through the work that is being conducted out along the Van Nuys Boulevard or in the community meetings in which we participate. And that is Joanna Amador, Raymond Acevedo, Isabel Maltez, and of course, Jesse Leon, the manager of the CLC, and I are dedicated to fostering and maintaining strong partnerships with the communities that are impacted by the construction. And with that, let me request that you turn to the next slide, please. We will now enter into the question and answer session. There are a few questions that are in our chat. And the question is, it's related to real estate. So Daryl, I'm going to invite you to please unmute and address the question that we received from an anonymous attendee. Were the property acquisitions purchases or takings is the question.
Thank you for that question, and thank you, Maria. When we acquire properties for any project, we try very, very hard to settle with the property owner voluntarily. And on this project, we have acquired many properties voluntarily. We take our time and we negotiate very seriously with the property owner. And again, most of the time we are successful in a voluntary acquisition. And as I mentioned before, we have several properties in escrow, for example. Every once in a while, there is a reason why we can't settle with the property owner. It's not always even about price. Sometimes there are title issues that can't be cleared from the parcel. And so in those instances that we cannot settle after diligent negotiation with the property owner, then we will take the property to what we call a resolution of necessity and implement eminent domain. But that's only after we've exhausted every other reasonable chance to settle and we've had a diligent negotiation period. So to answer your question, some of those properties were voluntarily acquired. Many of them, a few did go to a resolution of necessity that enables us to implement eminent domain.
Thank you, Daryl. And for the next question, Jesse Leon, I'd like to invite you please to assist with the question regarding Metro clarifying whether the board will be asked to adopt both northern segment alternatives or select one preferred option. Can
Sure.
you? Thank
Yeah,
you, Jesse.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you for that question. I believe that's from John David Rivera. So the
Yes.
answer to that, John, is the Metro teams involved with that project actually meet on a weekly basis. And now that they've wrapped up the supplemental study as part of the shared right-of-way, they are going to provide feedback in terms of what they heard from the community. We have been reporting to the community that the consensus from the community is to go with the Metro Link alternative. So that will be highlighted. But in terms of a recommendation, we don't know yet because that board report or the work toward that board report has not been developed yet. So hopefully that answers your question. More information to come.
Thank you so much, Jesse. There's another question from an anonymous attendee. What are the main goals for this project? And so I think the answered was provided at the beginning of our presentation, where we indicated that this is a 6.7 light rail at street level with 11 stations. And then the next question that an anonymous attendee has is the last station be Van Nuys and San Fernando. And that is accurate. For the light rail project, the East San Fernando light rail project, the last station or the first station, depending on which direction you're going, right? It's Van Nuys and San Fernando Road. Thank you. And I don't see any additional questions through the Q&A. Unless I have a delay, but I guess not. Joel, where would someone obtain a list of the contractors? And a list of the contractors. So the main contractor on this project is SFTC, San Fernando Transit Constructors. We can provide you with a list of with a contact of our counterpart, and that way you can connect with the main contractor on this project, Joe. We have another question that has come through. Will Metrolink have a station built at Van Nuys and San Fernando for a connection? Jesse, can you unmute for this next question, please?
Sure, absolutely. Just want to elaborate in my previous answer. So that's yet to be determined. So there's basically two alternatives that are going to be presented to the Metro Board of Directors for a final decision. One actually does involve a Metrolink station at Van Nuys and San Fernando with the inclusion of a mobility hub to facilitate those transfers between that station and this light rail project. But the second alternative is to extend light rail service to the city of San Fernando with the addition of 3 additional stations. So those are the two alternatives that were studied in a what we call the shared right-of-way study that was recently completed by Metro. Metro did have a series of community workshops and attended special events, lots of city council meetings in the city of San Fernando. I'm sure a few of you may have seen that in the news. And now that those studies have concluded, those teams are actually going to put together a board report to submit to the Metro Board of Directors for a final decision on which one of those alternatives will be ultimately selected.
Thank you, Jesse. And the next question is from Veronica regarding parking spaces being relocated of Van Nuys Boulevard.
I can help answer that one too. So
Thank you, Jesse.
I do want to apologize for all the if you guys go to our meetings, I want to apologize for all the meetings that we've had. We've had so many recently, but there's lots of important information to share. So we actually held 2 parking study meetings that were similar to this format, virtual and then in person. We met at the Arleta First Assembly of God. And what Metro did is Metro hired a parking consultant with decades of experience when it comes to evaluating parking impacts with projects like this. And they actually analyzed the entire corridor for both on-street and off-street parking and took feedback from the community at these meetings. And there's going to be another round of meetings where they're going to return back to the community, this parking consultant, and they're going to provide their recommendations based on what they heard, based on what they studied, based on the impacts as they see them, and basically come up with solutions. So we don't know yet until the parking consultant analyzes and evaluates all of that data, but we do anticipate to have those meetings before the year is over.
Thank you very much, Jesse. And with that, I'd like to share that we look forward to seeing you at our next virtual community meeting, which is scheduled for Saturday, October the 18th. It's at 10 o'clock in the morning. It will be, again, a virtual meeting, 10 o'clock. We will begin promptly at 10 in the morning, and we look forward to seeing you then. I also want to encourage you to, once again, reach us via the phone line 818-701-3844 or send us an email, eastsfvtransit@metro.net. Joel, please note our email so you can send us your question. And then again, for updated information about this project, visit our website and follow us on social media. Thank you once again for joining us this evening. We look forward to seeing you on Saturday, October the 18th. Have a great evening and thank you.
Thank you, Maria.